Hi guys, this is Jerry. So welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about how to regulate your nervous system. So most likely I'm going to title this How to Regulate Your Nervous System to Become the Full Potential, Full God, Full You. And I just want to go over some spiritual concepts first, and then I will give you guys my tips and habits that you should instill in your life to make sure that you're regulating your nervous system and so forth. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, and many masters have talked about, is your body is technology. So, Dr. Malachi Z. York basically calls it the mobile mirror. So this mirror, when you get to your highest, one of your highest bodies or selves, you become the Merkaba. And basically your job while you're on Earth is to try to align this body, align this high frequency God technology. The highest form of technology is your body, and aligning it will just make your life, make you feel a lot better, make you become the God self on Earth. And another concept that Dr. Malachi Z. York talks about is the Djed pillar, and that is your column. That is your column or your spine. That is the spine, and this is where all of your chakras are. And most people, if they have repression, they have traumas, things get blocked. Things happen to certain organs and certain chakras, and most people's chakras are not all the way lit up, and you can see that in the way that their health problems, the way that they communicate, the way that their energy is. So the Djed pillar is aligning this during this lifetime. You don't want to just continue making the same mistakes over and over again, not giving love to yourself, not aligning yourself to your highest potential, your highest power. Another thing is about mental balance. So when your mind is in balance, then your whole body is going to be in balance. Dr. Malachi Z. York talks about, but this is about mind balance. This is, again, making sure your habits align to your future potential, your present potential that you want for yourself. If you're just eating McDonald's, you're just eating, a bunch of crap, if you're just watching television, if you're just scrolling through multiple videos and you're not really watching anything, you're just kind of still stuck in the matrix, but you're calling yourself a spiritual person, the things just don't add up. It just does not add up whatsoever. Another thing I want to talk about, another concept that Malachi Z. York also talks about, is the 9 ether consciousness. And I would say this consciousness, again, this is where you have to align. You have to align and regulate yourself on a bodily matter first, and a mental plane first. So if you're not doing your daily discipline, you're not doing the daily habits, you're not breaking the cycles, you're not breaking, all of these terrible traumas, you just keep on recycling everything over and over again, this is the type of person you're just going to carry along with you. Your mobile mirror, or your Merkaba, your body that you're supposed to be using for your highest potential, this is like the highest form of technology that you can ever find, and you're just using it for crap. You're just using it to feed back into the matrix, which has subjugated your body, has subjugated your mind. So there are a lot of Egyptian ways, there's a lot of Egyptian habits that you can read about how to break these mental habits, and I'm going to basically talk about how to calm your nervous system in order for you to get back to that equilibrium, get back to the calm point. Thing I also want to talk about, not only do you have a pillar, the Dijed pillar within you, you have this vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve connects all of the points, okay? It connects your brain, your heart, and your digestive system together, and this is what keeps you calm, this is what keeps you in equilibrium. This keeps the connection to the heart. This also, the vagus nerve also deals with rest and digest. So when you're exercising, you can feel the rest and digest. When you are doing things to help reset your vagus nerve, reset this connection to the divine, this is when things are going to start to happen. Okay guys, so I want to get into how to reset your nervous system and basically make it really easy for you to break the bad habits, make it easy for you to become the God self. One thing a lot of people don't really talk about is cold, and I know Wim Hof is very popular and he popularized this method, but I think if you read any Vedic traditions or Vedic texts, or just watch how people in India live, you'll see that the cold plunge is not just a fad. So if you're in the shower, you're not just going to turn on the hot water, you're also going to have a cold splash or cold plunge. If you can afford to be in a cold bath every day, you can be in ice every single day. I would highly recommend you do that. It's going to reset everything. And this also links back to youth. So if you want to become immortal, you want to be that immortal being and maintain your youth, then you're going to do the cold plunge every single day. The next thing for me that I want to talk about is caffeine. And I still, to this day, don't understand. I don't understand how people can just pick up some coffee and that's the first thing that they drink in the morning. Like, I know my fucking kidneys would be shattered. Everything would just go to hell for me. I've never been able to do that, and I still don't know to this day how people just drink coffee, like straight up coffee in the morning. When you do that, guys, you're just signaling, you're just going to get that dopamine response, but then your whole entire nervous system, your regulation is just going to be off for the entire day. So my rule is that if you need caffeine for some reason, you're still on that caffeine addiction, I would say try to wait at least 3 to 4 hours. And the thing that I wanted to talk about was savory foods. So most likely you're going to make sure that you're not just drinking straight up coffee, but also, I don't know why, there is a culture around just eating sweet foods, just eating desserts in the morning, and it doesn't make sense. Eating cereal is just basically eating straight up sugar. Eating bagels or bread or jam in the morning is just straight up sugar, shock to the nervous system, just giving you that dopamine rush, and then you're just going to crash in a couple hours later. Again, this also will make you age a lot faster. I don't know what you need to do to persuade yourself not to reach for that bread, not reach for that sugar, but just don't do it, because you're just going to age a lot faster. You can look at all the older men and women in different places of Europe, and you know in Europe that they just basically eat sugar. If you want to look at America as well, people just, you know, eat cereal in the morning, and they're just basically drinking cereal. They're just drinking sugar in the morning. The next thing I want to talk about is always have some sort of movement in your life. Have a movement practice. For me, it's yoga, and that is where the rest and the digest will show itself to you. You will start to see that you start yawning. Things start coming out of your body, sweat comes out of your body, tears come out of your body. So your body is releasing all of these things out because it needs to. And if you're not exercising, there's no movement during your day, during pivotal moments of your day, which most likely should be the beginning of your day and then towards the end of your day, and if you can during the day. And I know 100% that if you just started to dance or you started to shake about like the animals do in nature, that you would feel 100 times better, because you cannot be in the same state. You cannot be in the same condition. If you're depressed, you're feeling terrible, and you start to dance, you no longer can feel that depression. You can no longer feel, those dense energies anymore, because you're literally shaking it off. So shake the body. If you're feeling overstimulated, doing EFT taps, like tapping your head, tapping different parts of your body, will take you back to the present moment. Last thing I want to talk about is savory foods. So healthy foods, healthy fats, and herbal tea is really good for regulating the system. I'm sure you guys can do a Pinterest search and find foods that you want to implement into your life, because these foods will bring light back into your body. High frequency foods really do bring a lot more crystallization. Like shit, it just makes you feel good to eat these foods. It's always going to bring something back to you. It's always going to make you feel a lot better. These are the things that I highly recommend you start implementing. Also, screen time, having breaks from the screen, making sure you have breaks from your work. If you're just staring at the screen, maybe 20-30 minute intervals, you just go take a walk around your apartment or outside. All of these things, all of the things that I talked about today, honestly, these will help you break out from your mental spells, from your mental habits that you have just continued in your life. So let me know what you guys think, how you guys are going to implement this, or if you think this was helpful. And I know for me, this has massively changed my life. All of these things I have been doing, and they have just changed my life and helped me become a more disciplined person, more disciplined in my spiritual practice. And I know my spiritual self is very happy for that. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave it as there, so let me know what you guys think, and peace.